Just look at the odds. Just look at the odds. I'm seeing something where they're talking about that poor guy and his fucking loud mouth and how his ass isn't going to be so tight anymore before long. Like he said, let him go to prison and get raped. I think that's something he said not too long ago. Allegedly, it was. It's a paraphrase. Watching this thing, and the guy talking about it says, he's like, not just like a child that puts his hand on the stove and doesn't do it anymore. Right then, it took me to me being about 3 or 4 years old at the neighbor's house. My longest known friend, I knew before I even remember, because he was the neighbor kid. We were the same age. And I remember we'd go back and forth between each other's houses. We had the pond there and the alligator in the pond. Not in Michigan, unless you're in Battle Creek. We'd have lunch. We didn't call them play dates. You just go out when you're ready. You go jump off of shit and throw fucking trucks at each other, Tonkas. So my mom would feed us sometimes, and then we'd be at his house sometimes. It was just back and forth. And his mother had cooked us like grilled cheese or something. This is the same woman sitting at that table at about the same age that I thought to say something to her as she was bringing us our food. And I made up a story. And she said, oh my gosh, is that true? And I said, I realized in that moment the power of a lie. How you can just take and tweak people's minds, and if they want to believe you, they shall. And I realized how horrific that could be. And I actually vowed there to be as honest as I could possibly be in life. And I am. Is that true? She said. And I said, no. But it might have even been the same day for all we know, because after lunch in their kitchen the one time at the table, she was in the other room, and he and I, we were standing there after she'd finished cooking, after we'd maybe eaten, I don't know. We walked up and, she must have just finished cooking and walked out of the room, because they had like an electric range, which back then, that was a big deal. They had an electric, the circular thing. And we watched it go from red to black. And we looked at each other. And one of us asked, this I don't remember, is it still hot? And we looked at each other, and he, with more nerve than me, go Michiganderville, he just reached out and put his hand directly on that thing, and he said, and there was the rings. He burnt off the skin on his little hands in that ring. And so there you've got Popak going, doesn't just put his hand on the stove, but above and beyond that, me as a witness, I never ever felt the need again to test it myself, because I was able to learn from someone else. You go first. Usually I'm the guy that goes first. And then people see me laughing when I should have probably been seriously injured, and they follow, and then they get hurt. They see how much pain it is that I don't feel. And I thought, how interesting. I was able to relate that story so much, putting your hand on the fire. You never have to do it again. But there was a little more to it. There was a lesson that came to me from it. As a goddamn less than 5-year-old child, somewhere between 3 and 4, I was able to learn from a mistake that somebody else had made. So if I can do that, I'd probably be pretty likely to be able to learn from the mistake I'd made. He's doing this shit on purpose, that poor guy. This is all part of the show, and it's all part of the program. Those things you're seeing in videos with people doing illegal shit, those were all meant to be hero videos when the nation was overrun. You realize that. People say, how could they be so stupid to record themselves doing this shit? These are the people that wanted to be heroes. They wanted to excel in the system that's being created if it works out. Still a pretty good possibility it could if you fuckers aren't paying attention. If you're too strung up on the idea that you made a mistake and you hate to lose and you don't want anybody to know you made a mistake. This is what you're leading us towards. You need to be able to accept. You don't need anybody to do your thinking for you. Stop looking at this shit that people are talking about without providing evidence. Look, I know. I'm telling the story as best I can. If you were to pick up keywords from the things I'm saying, you would probably find the evidence. It's related to things I'm seeing. I'm not doing the research. It's more like Joni search. Like looking at something and that somebody told you to watch. And anyway, I'm not steering you wrong. I know the power of a lie. But then, Pol Pot goes on to say, this is not so much as putting your hand on the stove again. It's putting your whole face in it. And I said, this guy keeps making so many connections. That dream that I wrote down when I was in the Army and shared with the friend of mine that was a dream psychologist, that he said, I said, you gotta tell me. I shouldn't say, you gotta tell me. And he's like, just get plenty of rest because you get a lot of your aggression out in your dreams. There was a dream that I had written down that it was this one guy that I didn't think much of. And it was in my barracks room, my room in the barracks, the 307th Engineer, HHC 307th Engineer Battalion, 82nd Airborne, Iron Mike. It was happening in that room, and there was a stove, and there was this guy I didn't think much of, and Captain Noah grabbed him by that fucking back of the head and shoved his face into the range, and it burst into flames. He was sitting there grinning. Captain Noah grabbed him, and Captain Noah had his camouflage, this thing that he'd do, and he put that kid's face in the grill, and the flames shot up, and out of the flames came Captain Noah with that face, and his fucking face cooked off. And I was like, and then there was this demon that had these huge fucking horns that I'd never seen before, but I've seen since in like stuff people draw. Evidently it's making its way through to reality. And it said, "Welcome to Hell's Kitchen." And there was fucking, the whole place went up into a cavern of fire. And it just reminds me, you know, if you ever spend any time in hell, don't forget Hell's Kitchen. It's the best little diner in Hell, Michigan. And if it's not there, like I just made it up, I suppose I should probably fucking use my 1/4 inch of property to fucking build it.